student webinar. Thank you. Welcome to our admitted student webinar for those of you who are in the electrical and computer engineering graduate programs. I want to be the first to say on this webinar, congratulations on your acceptance. We're really excited for you to join us today, and we're really excited for you to join your MS or PhD program in the fall. By way of introduction, my name is Marissa. I work in graduate admissions. I'm also joined today by Emily DeRosa, who's our recruiting specialist for PhD programs. She and I can answer some of your questions in the Q&A while Dr. Salehi is presenting. We also have Brandon Dominique, who is one of our ECE PhD students. He can answer any questions about student life that you have. And we're also joined by Colin Dykes, Kirsten Vilas, and Lucine from our academic advising team. Lucine can answer PhD questions. Colin and Kirsten can answer MS questions. So I will hand it over to Dr. Salehi, and he can start the presentation.
Good day. Let me introduce myself. I am Masoud Saleh, a faculty member in Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering, and also Associate Chair for Graduate Studies. I want to welcome you to this webinar, and also hopefully welcome you to Northeastern when you're a graduate student here. Let me introduce the structure of the program and also the structure of departments in the College of Engineering. Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering is the largest program in the College of Engineering. College of Engineering consists of 5 departments: Electrical and Computer Engineering, Civil and Environmental Engineering, Bioengineering, Mechanical and Industrial Engineering, Chemical Engineering. In addition to these 5 departments, there are also MS Terminal MS programs called MGen, and these programs are run by the college directly, not under one of the departments. So next slide, please. So now I'm focusing on the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. That will hopefully be your next home. In the department, we have 3 graduate programs as well as some joint programs. The 3 graduate programs that are hosted by the department are MS in Electrical and Computer Engineering, which is offered in 2 tracks: MS course only, MSc, and MS with thesis, MST. We also have 2 PhD programs, PhD in Electrical Engineering and PhD in Computer Engineering. Both PhD programs can be entered by a BS degree or with an MS degree, BS entry or advanced entry, meaning that the student already holds an MS degree. We also have some joint programs with other departments and institutions. We have MSDS, program that is joint between our department and also Khoury College of Computer Sciences. MS in Robotics, joint between Department of Electrical Engineering, Mechanical Engineering, and also Khoury College of Computer Sciences. MS IoT, Internet of Things, which is run by the department as well as the Institute for Wireless IoT. MS in Wireless Network Engineering, again run by the same bodies. MS in Applied Physics and Engineering, run by the department as well as College of Physics. MS AI, very new program that is added this year, run by us and again Khoury College of Computer Sciences and a number of other departments. MS in Semiconductors, again a new program starting this year. MS ECEL, which is MS in Electrical Engineering Leadership. This is run by us and Gordon Institute of Leadership. Also MS ECE Plus Leadership Certificate, which is again a complete MS ECE and then a leadership certificate on top of it. Currently, we are active in 3 campuses: the Boston campus, Seattle campus, and Oakland campus. In the Boston campus, we offer all programs. In Seattle, we offer MS program in 3 concentration, as I will go over later. And in Oakland, we offer the PhD program in one area, semiconductors. All our programs, the MSECE program can be followed as full-time or part-time. For the PhD program, there is a part-time option, which is called industrial PhD. All our courses are 4 semester hours, which means that basically there is 200 minutes of class meetings each week. And typical course load for full-time students is 8 semester hours, that is 2 courses, or 4 semester hours for part-time students. And international students have to be registered full-time all the time that are they're here. Next slide, please. Okay, this is basically the same thing in a more engineering block diagram version. The first program is PhD in electrical engineering. Typically, this program takes 4 to 5 years to be completed. Of course, the speed depends on the progress that you make on your research, as well as whether the student enters the program with a BS or an MS degree. Same thing for PhD in computer engineering. For the MS programs, we have the thesis track, of course, and the course-only track. Typically, they take about 1.5 and 2 years. For MS course-only, it is more predictable. But MS thesis, which have a research component, of course, again, it depends on the progress that you make in your research. Also, the length of these programs depend whether you go on co-op or you don't go on co-op. Next slide, please. Okay, a little bit about the graduate program in our department. Our graduate program is, there's a lot of research and scholarly activities in the program. Our program is research incentive with a lot of research infrastructure and funding available to the students, as I will go over them. Currently, the annual research funding for the department is $54 million, and compared with the total College of Engineering, which is $104 million, you see that it's more than half of the College of Engineering, although we're one of the 5 departments. Each year, we graduate about 50 PhD and more than 200 MS students. Currently, we have about 350 PhD and 600 MS students in our programs. Again, at this point, we have 95 full-time faculty members in the department. In addition to that, we have 25 affiliated and adjunct faculty members. These are faculty members who are working basically with other departments, but also their time is shared also by the Department of Electrical Engineering. They help us with advising some of the students and doing some research in joint areas of interest. We have 14 teaching faculty and 12 research faculty, as well as this 95 full-time tenure track faculty. Our faculty are top-notch in their research. There are 47 recipients of Young Investigator Awards. That is an attestament to the quality of our young students. These are very, very competitive awards. And our faculty also are recipients of 23 NSF Career Awards. We're continually expanding our research infrastructure in the form of funding, labs, and research areas. And in order to do that, we need good graduate students like you who have been admitted to our graduate program. We need them with different skills of doing research, whether it is computational or experimental or analytical, and also students with expertise in publication and presentation and doing research. Next slide, please. A lot of research in the department is done in centers of excellence in different areas. There is a huge list of them here. I won't be able to go through all of them. For example, Institute for Experiential AI. This is a new institute. You have the list of them in robotics, in wireless communication, nanosystems, you name it. We have having 95 tenure track faculty covers a big spectrum of all research areas in electrical engineering as done in these centers. But I have to add here that the research in the department is not just done in centers. There are a lot of research activity outside these centers by individual faculty members, by collaboration between our faculty members and other departments, by collaboration between our faculty members and other universities, and also by joint collaboration between a small group of our faculty members. A lot of research facilities are in these centers, 12 or 13 centers, but in addition to that, we have a lot of ongoing research in individual faculty members or smaller groups of faculty members. Next slide, please. Well, a little bit about our MS programs, MS in Electrical and Computer Engineering. Our students pursue their research program, their MS program in 7 different concentrations. So when you enter the program, you already know your concentration, what concentration you are in, and whether you are MST or MSc, course only or thesis, and for the students who are part-time, whether you are full-time or part-time. The 7 concentrations are communication, control, and signal processing, CCSP, focusing on these 3 areas, computer systems and software, computer vision, machine learning, and algorithms, a very popular concentration, electromagnetics, plasma and optics, hardware and software for machine intelligence, microsystems, materials and devices, power systems, power electronics, and motion control. These are the 7 concentrations. And now that you're admitted for the MS program, you're in one of these concentrations. You know that. As you note here, 3 of these concentrations are computer-oriented: computer systems and software, computer vision, machine learning, and algorithms, and hardware and software for machine intelligence. These are mostly computer related. The other 4 concentrations: communication, control, signal processing, electromagnetics, plasma and optics, microsystems, materials and devices, and power systems, power electronics, and motion control, are more in the electrical engineering side of the program. And next slide, please. Okay, so what are the requirements for the MS program? I want to be very brief here. But when you enter the MS ECE program, MS, if you are in the MSc track, which is course-only track, this is about course-only track, you have to complete 8 graduate level courses. And each course being 4 semester hours, this basically means 32 semester hours. And there are certain conditions, there are boundary conditions in electrical engineering terms, that at least 6 courses of these 8 courses that you take must be in your concentration. These are called depth courses or concentration courses. For each concentration, we have a list of concentration courses for that particular one. And usually this list is about 20, 25 courses. And you have to select at least 6 courses from these 25 courses. And the other courses can be outside the concentration or in concentration. So you have freedom about the other 2 courses that you have to take to complete the program. Some students take these extra 2 courses also in the concentrations. They want to be very focused on the area of study. Some students take advantage of taking other courses outside the concentrations to expand their expertise. Now, there is also an opportunity to take courses outside the department. And in fact, this is true mainly for computer engineering, computer-oriented, with the terminology that I used before. In those 3 concentrations, that is computer systems and software, computer vision, machine learning, and algorithms, and hardware and software for machine intelligence, in these concentrations, you can take up to 3 courses outside the department. And taking 3 courses outside department, majority of our students in those concentrations take these courses from Curie College of Computer Sciences to complete their knowledge of different aspects of computer engineering. For electrical engineering concentrations, CCSP, communication, control, signal processing, ELPO, electromagnetics, plasma and optics, MSMD, microsystems, materials and devices, and power, they can take up to 2 courses outside the department. Note that when I'm talking about concentration courses, these concentration courses are not just ECE courses. Concentration courses, depending on the concentration, include ECE courses and courses from other departments. For example, in the 3 computer engineering related concentrations, we have a lot of courses from the computer science department, Curie College of Computer Sciences. And for example, in CCSP, we have some courses from the math department. Therefore, concentration courses doesn't mean that all of them are electrical engineering courses or ECE courses. Some of them are from the other departments. So this is the course requirement for MS ECE course only track. 8 courses, 6 concentration, the other 2 can be concentration, can be non-concentration, and there is a limit on the number of courses that you can take outside the department. 2 courses for 4 concentrations and 3 courses for computer inclined concentrations. Can I have the next slide, please? Okay, now if you are in the thesis track, the situation is a little bit different here. Although the basic requirements are pretty much the same. 8 courses in general, 32 semester hours. You have to complete 32 semester hours for MST as well, like MS course only. And remember that in MS course only, you had to take 6 courses in concentration. Now, in MS thesis, 2 of these 6 courses are thesis courses. That is basically the same thing. 8 concentration courses, but 2 of these courses must be your thesis. And you're assigned to, you select one of the professors whose research aligns with your interests, background, and expertise, and start doing research with that professor. Of course, research is not like a course that starts one semester and ends at the end of the semester. You know, you're working on that, and you know, sometimes you have more progress, sometimes you have less progress. Research is not a linear thing that goes ahead. Maybe in some months you don't make any progress, and overnight you have a lot of progress. And so requirement of thesis is here for these students. And these students, regardless of the concentrations of their concentration, can take up to 3 courses outside the department. Therefore, whether they are computer-oriented concentrations or electrical engineering oriented concentrations, they can take up to 3 courses outside the department. Remember that for course only, electrical engineering oriented concentrations have a cap of 2 courses outside the department. And the reason here for MS thesis is that this is basically a thesis related type of work here. And for thesis, you might need certain expertise that is advised by your advisor. Maybe these expertise are outside the department and you have to go for them. Next slide, please. Now, for PhD course requirement, of course, PhD, the main component of a PhD is dissertation, is the research that you're doing, right? But there are some course requirements. And depending on whether you are advanced entry or BS entry to the program, there are different course requirements. If you are an advanced entry to the PhD program, that is, you already hold an MS degree, there are only 4 course requirements. 16 semester hours, because you already have an MS, you have already taken a lot of courses for your MS degree. 16 semester hours, 4 courses, and the only requirement here is that at least 2 of these courses must be ECE courses. The other 2 courses can be ECE or non-ECE courses. Having said that, majority of our students that enter the PhD program do not take just 4 courses, because they have been there, they're here usually for 4 or 5 years, and there is a lot of opportunity that they can benefit from many courses that are offered in the department. Therefore, majority of our PhD students take well over 16 semester hour of courses during their tenure of study here. If you're a BS entry PhD student, well, there are 2 steps in completion of the program. First, you have to obtain an MS. Basically, you have to complete the requirements of the MS. This could be MS course only or MS thesis. And your advisor will determine that. You and your advisor will determine whether you complete the requirements for MS course only or MS thesis. Okay. After completion of that, you will be basically an advanced entry student. Therefore, in addition to that, you have to take 16 semester hours to complete the course requirements for the PhD program. So the total course requirement for BS entry students is 32 plus 16, 48 semester hours. That is 12 courses, of which 2 can be thesis if you opt for MS thesis for the MS part of your program. Next slide, please. Okay, now, what are the stages in the PhD program? As I indicated, I told you before, and of course you know that the main part of a PhD program is the dissertation. So these are the main steps in the PhD program, approximately given here in the order of completion, but not necessarily. You have to pass the qualifying exam. Qualifying exam, usually you take it about 1 year, a little bit over 1 year after you enter the program. It has a certain structure that usually I go over it during the orientation when you're here. I don't want to spend time on it. But you take this in about 1 year after you enter here. You have taken some courses. You're familiar with certain concepts. And each student has 2 opportunities to take the qualifying exam. Therefore, hopefully they pass it in the first time that they take it. Majority of our students do that. And if, God forbid, you cannot pass it the first time, there is a second opportunity to take the qualifying exam. If a student doesn't pass the qualifying exam in the 2 tries, then they cannot be in the PhD program anymore. You also form your PhD committee. PhD committee consists of at least 3 faculty with a certain structure that must have. These are the faculty who advise you on your PhD. We can talk to them about your progress and get advice from them, and they oversee your progress towards your PhD degree. Then at a certain stage, when you know exactly what your area of research, you have done some research in that area, you know the area very well, you have read the papers, etc., you have a proposal review stage. At this stage, you basically propose to your committee what you want to do. You have to show that you exactly know what your research topic is, you have progress in that research topic, you know the area very well, you know how your research topic complements the other areas in your field, and you propose that I'm doing this research. I have done this part of the research and I want to continue in this direction. And you receive feedback from the members of your committee and continue your research. And finally, the last stage, of course, is your dissertation defense. You defend your dissertation, what you have obtained, and you present it again to your PhD committee. After that, you're basically done with your PhD studies. Of course, there are course requirements that I previously talked about, and you have already done that. In addition to that, we have annual reviews. The College of Engineering actually runs the annual reviews for the PhD program. Basically, each year, the PhD students will be reviewed, and they will receive feedback from the faculty on their progress towards their PhD degree, whether this progress is satisfactory, unsatisfactory, or needs improvement. For annual review, as I already told you, there are 3 outcomes of annual review: satisfactory, unsatisfactory, and needs improvement. If a student gets an unsatisfactory review, the student has 6 months to improve their performance. And if after 6 months their performance is again not sufficient, doesn't show progress towards their goals, then the student cannot continue their PhD program. Can I have next slide, please? Okay, you are already admitted to the program, therefore I won't go over this. These are criteria for admission to the program. This doesn't relate to you, so I won't go over this. Financial aid. Our PhD students are fully funded for their PhD program. This is usually in the form of fellowships, and ECE students, ECE fellows receive 15 semesters of support. This support is usually a combination of research assistantship and teaching assistantship. Majority of the big part of that is in the form of research assistantship. Students, if interested, can go for teaching assistantship. This is particularly beneficial for students who want to pursue a career in academia. They want to be professors, go to university, and be faculty members there. Usually teaching assistantship is available as a bridge fund, and it is not available to first-year students. First-year students are all covered by research assistantship. After they're familiar with the environment, after they know about the content of the courses, they are ready to take responsibilities as teaching assistants. For MS students, we have only one type of possible support. This is course assistant grader, HCA, hourly paid course assistants. As the name suggests, these are hourly paid. And there is that opportunity for some of the students, not for all of the students. And the students can help us with grading, with running, preparing different material for the class. So this is not exactly teaching assistant, because teaching assistants usually hold recitation classes, for example, which is different. Sometimes they grade exams, sometimes they prepare exams. But for HCA, it is usually grading and holding office hours to help the students with their questions. This is not guaranteed, but it's available sometimes for MS students with the right expertise to do these HCAs. Although research assistantship and teaching assistantship fully cover the tuition for PhDs, that's only for PhD students, HCAs do not cover the tuition. They're just paid hourly for the service that they perform. Can I have the next slide, please? Okay, co-op and internship. One of the main attractions of Northeastern is the co-op program that we have. As you know, co-op program is the flagship of Northeastern in undergraduate. Almost all of our undergraduate students go on co-op. This gives them hands-on experience with in a work environment, the culture of the work in the US, and also provides them with some stipend, which is usually very good, for undergraduate students. We have also extended that for graduate students. MS students can go on co-op and be financially supported by the stipend that they receive, their salary that they have there, as well as getting the experience, very valuable experience that they will have in a work environment. They can also collect different skills that will be helpful for the future. And in fact, there are many of our students that after graduation are recruited by the same company where they did their co-op. So this can be also considered as a gateway to job opportunities here. Co-op is available to all graduate students, MS students and PhD students. Then for PhD students, we have also another opportunity, which is the internship. Internship is part and parcel of their dissertation. If a student, it has to be part and parcel of your dissertation. If a student needs to go, for example, collecting data related to their dissertation, working with certain equipment that we don't have here, it's available in hospitals or, for example, other industries, they go on internship. And they are paid there as well. One of the main differences between co-op and internship is that co-op is synchronized with the semester. So co-op can be for 4 months, 6 months, or 8 months. Whereas internship is not necessarily synchronized with our semesters. For example, an internship can be for 5 months or for 3 weeks, for example. So there's no synchronization between internship and our semesters. Can I have the next slide, please? Okay, this next slide is about the Boston area. I think probably Brandon can give you some information about the life in Boston, and the younger people are more knowledgeable of that. I just give you some very general information. The Boston area, Boston City is in fact the 11th largest metropolitan area in the United States, and the third largest concentration of engineers in Boston area after Bay Area and Texas, Houston area in Texas. Boston is the cultural center, I would say, of the United States. Many museums, all different entertainment possibilities. It's a very international and diverse population in the Boston. You have people from all over the world. In the Boston area, there are over 150 colleges and universities. This is not comparable to anywhere in the United States. So you have students from all over the world. There are student groups. You can connect with students from your country or your region, or get to know the cultures of other students, other countries around Boston. There are 250,000 college students around Boston in the metropolitan area. That's a huge number. So, and there are a lot of activities going on here. You have the best universities, in the country, maybe here, Northeastern is, of course, one of them. That is your home. Right across the river in Cambridge, we have Harvard and MIT. We have also Boston University, Tufts University, many other universities around. There are a lot of seminars going on in these universities. You can attend that and expand your knowledge. A little bit about the economy in the Boston, and that was really interesting for me to know that the economy of the Boston area is comparable to the economy of Norway. And remember that Norway has oil, a lot of oil. So the latest that I checked, the economy of the Boston area is about $850 billion. Norway is a little bit less than that. Okay. So there's a lot of opportunities here, a lot of resources here for doing research, for expanding your knowledge in this area. A lot of diverse arts and sciences going in Boston and around the area. If you go out of Northeastern, to the left of you is the Museum of Fine Arts, one of the largest museums in this area. To the right of you is the Boston Symphony Orchestra. If you're interested in involving in different activities, there is always that opportunity. So I will conclude my presentation here, and I will be happy to answer your questions after the other material is presented here. Thank you very much for your attention, and again, welcome to the Northeastern University.
Great, thank you. So that's it for the material that we were going to do as part of the formal presentation. Since you all are admitted, we don't have any admissions information to add, but before we go into the Q&A, Brandon, did you want to add anything about anything you might find relevant as a student, maybe in the Boston area or as part of your program? Anything you wanted to add before we jump into Q&A?
Yeah. I can also just give a quick introduction myself. So hi, everybody. My name is Brandon Dominique. I'm a PhD student here at Northeastern University in the computer engineering department. I arrived at Northeastern as a BS, so I was a BS entry into the PhD program. And since then, I've completed my master's. I did my concentration in computer vision, machine learning, and algorithms. And now I'm working on finishing my dissertation. My research is mainly related to artificial intelligence and using it in ethical settings. So yeah, I think I can touch on this more if you guys have any specific questions, but just yeah, in terms of like the Boston area, I arrived during the pandemic actually, so during COVID-19. I believe I got here in fall 2020. So my experience was a little bit different in the beginning. I wasn't, for example, I wasn't able to visit Boston in person. That is where Northeastern came in handy though, because we do have, since graduate students are required to live off campus, we have a off-campus housing portal that I was able to use. I was able to connect with other students that were looking for housing at the time. And that was how I was able to find my initial apartment in Boston. So yeah, arriving during the pandemic was a little bit different because school, I believe, wasn't fully open yet. So I wasn't able to go to my research lab as much as I would have liked to. But since then, the campus has opened back up. And now we're all able to be in person and enjoy the benefits of being in person, both for classes and for research. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about life in Boston, life as a graduate student at Northeastern, any specific questions about courses or any tracks that you're thinking about taking, then I'll be able to answer them.
Great. Thank you so much, Brandon. I really appreciate it. So now I guess we can move into the Q&A. I'm going to stop sharing the screen just so you guys can see who you're asking your questions to. So we're all available for you. So we can start. We have a very interesting question from a student. So he's asking about the name of the CVLA concentration. He's wondering, is there a particular reason to emphasize two aspects of AI, vision and algorithms in the name?
Well, computer vision is part of machine learning. Actually, a lot of machine learning devices and programs heavily depend on machine learning. For example, face recognition or character recognition. Computer vision is basically the input to many machine learning algorithms, as I told you. For example, video recognition, face recognition, character recognition, hand written recognition. All of these start with computer vision, with vision by the computer, and then the processing of machine learning takes place on them, and this is basically done by algorithms, different algorithms of machine learning. So that's why the name sounds like that.
Great, thank you. So we have another question from a PhD student. Could you provide more information about qualifying exams for PhD advanced entry?
It's from me or from Brandon? I think it's from me. Yeah. Okay.
Probably for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can explain it to you. Since you are entering the program in the fall of 2025, your exam is scheduled until the end of the fall semester 2026. That is by December 2026, you have to complete your PhD exam. The way that is handled is that you're assigned, well, you form a qualifying exam committee, which has a structure very similar to the PhD committee, but not exactly the same. There are some constraints that are different in these two committees. You form your committee in consultation with your advisor, and then you are usually assigned a certain problem, a certain small research problem, and you have some time to do the research on that. And then there is a 1 hour meeting between you and the qualifying exam committee, in which for 15 to 20 minutes you present your results. And then after that, there is a question answer session. The questions that are asked are not just limited to the research that you have done. They are about your research, the small research that you have done, as well as questions about the general area of electrical engineering. And based on that, the committee decides whether you pass or fail.
Great, thank you. So I see we have one last question in the Q&A, which if anybody else has any questions, please feel free to drop those in there. The question is there a course review system in place where we can look at reviews, grade distributions, distributions of time per week, etc.? Not sure who that question is to.
Yes, there is. The TRACE program shows you the courses, the review of the courses, the review of instructors. You can look at them, individual courses, individual instructors, and decide which section or which course you want to take. I'm not sure if I have understood the question correctly or not, but as I understand, this is the answer to the question.
Great, thank you. I think that's what the student was asking as well. So I see we have a question. What does research look like for a master's student on the thesis track? And is it a paid experience? I don't think it's a paid experience, but it's more academic, correct?
Exactly. Yeah, it's not a paid experience, and the research topics are usually smaller projects compared to a dissertation. Of course, these are usually something that can be done in 2 semesters, and the content of that depends on the professor with whom you're working. This can be experimental, can be computational, can be analytical, or can be a combination of them. It very much depends on the area that you select to do your research.
Great. And I see we have one last question, either for yourself or I guess for Brandon. students asking to confirm the qualifying exam for a PhD is an oral presentation with your former committees. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, part of, yeah, there is an oral, but basically, the exam is a written part, which is the report that you do on the research problem that is assigned to you. Then there is a presentation part that, as I told you, it's 15 to 20 minutes, and there is a 45 to 40 minutes of question and answer session. These are all oral.
So I see we have a question about scholarships. If you have questions, I am looking at your question. I'm going to put the graduate admissions email address in the chat because I think you might need to be able to provide, if you could provide more information, I think that about your specific case, I think we would be able to answer your question better. So I will do that right now. And anybody else who has any questions about anything we've discussed today or anything you have outstanding questions, you can also feel free to write to the admissions team. So we have another question about the computer vision, machine learning, and algorithms name. The student's asking, why does the CVLA name emphasize vision as opposed to another aspect of machine perception, such as hearing and algorithms, as opposed to other facets of AI implementation, such as systems?
I think this is basically the same question that I elaborated on.
Okay, perfect. Great. Awesome. So it looks like we are all finished with our questions. Like I said, if you have any questions, do feel free to bring them up to the graduate admissions team. We're happy to answer. I want to say thank you so much to Kirsten for answering all of those questions in the chat. You're very fast, so appreciate that. Thank you for Brandon for being here today. Thank you, Dr. Salehi, and thank you, Colin and Lucine, for being here as well. So everyone else, wherever you're joining us from around the world, have a good rest of your day, your night, your evening, and thank you once again for joining us. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you very much.